There ain't nothing to it, Gerson, but to do it. Hey guys, welcome to the Around the Couch podcast. Once again, this is the 11th episode of the Around the Couch podcast. Joining me today are my homies. To my right, we have
Prince Ali.
All right, to my left, we have
Gerson.
and
G.
Glizzy
No,
G.
every-
Glizzy
every
G.
time they do this.
Oh my gosh, Glizzy G, that's great. And then today we actually have my brother Kurt, but not only brother Kurt. Kurt, take it away.
All right. Hey, today we got a special guest today, man. We got my brother, homie, Barber, sub-treasurer of his church, Rene Serrano in the building.
Hey, whoa, hey.
Thank you.
Hey, man. So tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, man. Just a little background story, your origin, I guess.
Origin story, really like Marvel type.
Yeah.
Your superhero story.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm Hispanic, of course.
Okay.
You can tell. Grew up here in Maryland. Came from the same place as Kurt. Pretty much, me and Kurt, we known each other for a very long time, since middle school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Playground type.
Yeah. And Gerson too. I've known Gerson. He's like a son to me.
No, don't say that.
I mean,
He just sunned you.
was Gerson always this lazy?
Oh yeah.
Disgusting. Okay.
Pretty much, I've been barber for a while. Been barbering for about 2 years. Professionally, I would say is about a year. And it's a great feeling to be able to cut people's hair, transform them. You know, it's kind of like an operation. You know, people come out looking different. Yep. And as a treasurer, you know, I've been pretty much just supporting my church, helping them out with their finances and being able to pretty much help out church progress. Yep.
Okay. All right. Helping out the church progress. I like that. Kurt, any other questions? Because I see you
Yeah.
got a list of questions
Yeah,
right
so
there,
we're,
brother. Oh my gosh.
We're going to get to, like, each one. So right now, I just want to focus in on the barbering. Like, say if it's, like, a little kid out there that wants to be, like, a barber, what was your steps? Because I know now you're at Rural Cuts and
Ooh.
the Kentlands. So what would be, like, your steps you would tell, like, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old that wants to be a barber one day or something? Like, how did you get to where you're at now?
Well, I'll tell them to check out like YouTube barbers first. You know, try to get the gist of it, and then probably not go straight to a head. Probably go to a mannequin head before cutting anybody's hair. The way I started was I first started cutting out my own hair, and it was a couple mess ups. You know,
I was gonna say.
in the beginning.
Okay.
Of course, but then after a while you get confident and you move on to, well, I moved on to cutting actual people, you know. And once, you know, people started saying, oh yeah, this is decent, then from there on you could move on to going into a barber shop. You got two options though after, to either be an apprentice from a master barber or go to barber school. I took the barber school route. And from there, you just get yourself fully licensed because that's the professional thing to do. And out of all the barbershops that I chose after getting fully licensed was a barbershop in Kentlands, Royal Cuts, Kings. Pretty much it's a 5-star shop. So I took the opportunity there because, you know, I want to better my craft. Because as a barber, you consistently keep growing. It's never something that you just automatically say, okay, this is as good as I get. No, you got to keep growing. It's a career where you learn something new every day.
I have a question for you. Was there any time that you thought, like, maybe I don't want to do this, like the pressure to you got too much, or things got a little difficult, or like something about this being a barber just didn't like appeal to you anymore? Was there any point in your life that happened to you?
Well, you have a lot of critics, and your biggest critic would be yourself as a bar, you know, because after you finish a cut, and if you take a picture never lies. So you can see how the cut really ended up, and you might beat yourself up, because mostly barbers usually tend to be like try to be perfectionists, and I can't say there's such thing as a perfect cut, because it's it's very difficult. Everybody cuts differently. Everybody has a different method to cutting hair. For fades, it's like you could fade with just scissors, or we call them shears, or just clippers. So pretty much your first biggest critic is yourself. From there, you get criticized by either your peers. Usually, clients they don't really realize what a good cut is, but your peers, other barbers, or even cosmetologists, they realize, oh, that was a good cut or that was a bad cut, and you know from there, once you have given a lot of good cuts, when a client goes to another decides to go to another barber, and they realize that the other barber did not give the same quality of cut as you did, they will not want to, they won't go to that barber. They'll try to keep coming back. That's how it is with barbering usually.
Yeah, funny enough, you kind of actually mentioned something I was about to say. Like, has there been like, do you have any stories of like a time where you cut somebody's hair and like you as a professional know like that's a pretty good cut, but the customer wasn't like really feeling it at that moment, and you kind of had to like either convince them or just kind of show them like, hey, like realistically this is good. Cause I'm not gonna lie, there was a couple times I got a cut where I wasn't really feeling it, but the barber like they made me feel it more, and that gave me the confidence that I needed to have for my haircut.
Well, yeah. Sometimes it all depends. Because certain haircuts might look good on certain people. So a barber usually, like, you're not gonna tell a lawyer to get a rock star haircut. You're gonna tell him to get something professional. So it all depends on what the person's like. I usually base off when I consult with a client. I ask them like, what's their career, what they want to do in their life, how do they want to appear to others, what was that you didn't like from your last cut, stuff like that, and so on, etc. You can always ask them what they plan to do with their hair, what like their hair growth, like how fast it grows, or how thickness, or density, all that comes into account when cutting hair. So I would say when you go to a barber, they usually try to go with the best haircut. If you show them a picture, they'll try to match that. Like that's usually what we usually do is we ask them, hey, you have a picture, and clients will show us a picture, and we'll try to match that as best as possible. Sometimes it might not look good as as in the picture, because the same person that is in the picture isn't you.
That's a good point.
That is a great point. I feel like a lot of the times when I try to get a haircut, or back when I was getting a haircut, the main problem I had was like my barber was not a reliable dude. I'm not wrapping him up or anything. It was just the fact that I couldn't get in contact with him a lot of the time, and he would always, whenever I would say I just want to fade, that's it, he would try to do extra stuff. And I don't know. I just didn't like that. So I find that kind of interesting, because I would be always like, what is he thinking? What is he thinking when he's doing my hair? But okay, all right. I'm glad that I got some insight, some barber insight right now.
Definitely.
Praise God, praise God. Speaking of praising God, he is also a sub treasurer of his church.
That was a great transition.
So tell us what that's like. And we don't want to know how much money the church is making and going to the pockets and everything, but the viewers and listeners do want to know, when we pay tithes and offering, where does that money go? Some people think, oh, because the pastor got a nice car and a good house and all of that. We just want to know, when you're doing the tithes and offering and all of that, where specifically does our money that we put into the church go?
Okay. Well, it's usually for finances and stuff, right? Pretty much that's what treasury is. Um, we pretty much have two sections: tithes and offerings. Offerings is usually like what you give for the church. That usually goes for like rent, um, whatever. It could be an event like Valentine's Day or something like Mother's Day. Um, but when it comes to tithes, it's a different story. That actually goes to what we have is a conference, right? And that conference distributes that money to be able to pay off the pastors. In what I can say from our church, the church I go to, well, we're Seventh Day Adventist. Our pastors get paid a salary based off where they live and like where they're being pastors at. So usually what normal person's salary is out here in Maryland is like what 30,000. So that's what we would probably they would give them as a salary. Rest of the money would then go for helping building, like they might have projects like outside, like let's say they want to make how they want to make hospitals or churches or schools in Africa. They That's what they would probably use that money most of the time.
Okay. You have any
Pretty cool insight. It's like a pretty cool insight, like being Muslim, like hearing some other like churches thing. Is there ever a time where you have to kind of like bring the morale up for like the churchgoers to like like if like donations are ever like low on the level of like, hey, you guys like need money for the church when it comes to like keeping the lights on, or like what's it called, like people were working there. Has there been a time where you guys had to kind of like motivate the people, or how do you guys deal with that when it like there's like a lack of donations or lack of like people giving money to the church?
Well, yeah, sometimes there might have to be like motivation, but it, as far as I know, most of the church, most of the people, brothers in church, they've been blessed, so they haven't had that struggle. The way our church usually is they give like a 10% of whatever they earn. That would be the tithes usually. So if you make, I don't know, like $100 in 1 week, your tithe for that week would be like $10. So if you make 5 hours, it'd be like 500, right? So most of the time, we have guys who have been blessed. They have their own companies, and so they make a lot. So it kind of helps and balances us out. Um, but yeah, it's interesting to see how our church, you know, like progresses in that financially. Because without money, you can't really operate a church. Yeah. And some people don't realize that. Some people think, you don't need to give, but if you don't give, uh, you know, you're kind of helping out, blessing others. Because, like I said, building hospitals in, like, let's say Africa or anywhere in Asia, or, countries that do need it, that can be, you're pretty much blessing a lot of people like that.
Yeah, I kind of attest to that a little bit when it comes to my mosque and everything, as it's been expanding to like more of a community center, and also like donations worldwide for like different programs, and like it's like some people you do have to motivate, and like some people don't really recognize how much their money is helping the building run too, because a lot of us just go to church or mosque, whatever religion like affiliation you have to the place that you go to, but it's not, nothing in life is free, and it is kind of like, I guess some people like they'll might think it's weird to give money to the church or mosque because like it's a religious place, but you have to have money in order to keep the building up, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. And with many blessings, we know
Yes.
there are haters that come with that. So how do you deal with all the haters and naysayers that say you can't do this or that?
You pretty much just gotta, well, for us, it's like we have a morals, right? Where we're supposed to love our neighbor, so, and with it comes like, having to learn to forgive people And sometimes people won't ever be happy with the church, but you got to be at the end of the day, we're in it to praise the Lord, and to give him thanks. That's the reason why we go to church, is really to thank God for all the things he's done for us, and to build our relationship with him, because there's no such thing as a perfect human being. And the only way we get better every day is, from realizing that we have someone higher, a higher being that blesses us,
Everything you just said was so spot on, bro.
I could see you literally resonating with that.
So I really like that a lot.
Yes.
I
And
thought he was gonna have like another like yes brother, oh yes. I was like waiting. I was like, oh wait.
yeah, just any final like words or quotes, or just any final like advice or
I guess intro-
words
yeah.
of wisdom you would like to say, because so far we and the people have learned a lot from you, and just about just church in general with the tithes and everything. Just any final words or anything.
Well, just try to be nice to others. Try to do kindness. It'll help the world become a better place. And just do better. In life. That's all you can do. You strive for greatness, and because you never know when your last day will be.
That's true. Strive for greatness. I like that. I like that. Strive for greatness.
Always better yourself. I think once you're
Always
like,
better yourself,
always
yeah.
like once you, I think you settle with what, if you think you're good at life. Nah, I think that's like the worst spot to be in. I think you have to always kind of improve yourself.
Oh yeah,
better
settling
yourself.
is terrible. I
Yeah.
couldn't settle. I don't know.
I suppose there's some things that you should be like satisfied with in life, but there's other things you just always try to better yourself in a sense. Gerson, how do you better yourself every day?
Are you still salty about what people said?
I can't hear.
Oh, it's because I was scared he was gonna breathe into the mic, so I didn't. Is it even on?
It is on.
Yeah, I still can't hear him.
Dude, it's not.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, can you hear me now?
That was good for like a second.
It was good for like
I think it's
Yeah,
like
oh yeah, it's good now.
okay, but no, I had it muted, but honestly, I can't even answer that question because I do the same thing almost every day. I mean, I guess you can say going to the gym and like pursuing a higher education is
So-
improvement, but
so you don't
That's
feel
definitely,
like.
that's definitely good.
So do you feel like then like you won't change 5 years down the line? Like you won't.
I mean,
wanna be
obviously,
better
some
5
things
years down
would
the
some
line?
things will change, obviously. But it's just gonna be. It's probably like a slow. What is it? It's a slow ascent. I'm gonna say. Like obviously, every several years, there's always gonna be. I'm always gonna be. I feel like I'm gonna put myself in a better position. Like now, obviously, I feel like we're all like. I'm not gonna say we're all in the same boat, but like we all still live with our parents still. Well, like most of us, like besides like Kurt, he already has his own car. Like a good car, I guess you can say. But in 5 years, I feel like
I guess you can say he's wrapping you up right now.
I'm not. No, I'm
Continue.
saying what.
Continue.
I was just saying is that I plan to see myself, with my own place and an even better car than the one I currently have. Hopefully, actually, no, I actually scratched that. I hope that car's still alive in 5 years because I still will drive it.
Like shit, I feel about Matrix right now too.
Yeah, I understand the emotional attachment I have towards my car.
Okay.
Bro, my first Camry, I was so sad about that, bro. The green Camry.
The one that you raced on Blueberry.
Yeah, I actually miss that Camry a lot.
Okay. All right. That's crazy, Gerson.
Like, good memories.
That greatness is interesting. But you know what's really great?
What?
This case that's been going on with Amber Heard and Johnny
That's
Depp.
like
What's
the
been
exact
going on?
opposite.
Yeah.
What's been
He's the
going
exact
on?
opposite from my
What's
man
been
Johnny.
going on? It's not been great for him, but it's been great for me watching the clips on YouTube.
Bro, I'm really hoping he wins.
What do you mean hoping? He's gonna win.
Nah, because the first case he lost in the UK.
That was in the UK. America's gonna look at this and just be like,
People think he had the higher chance of winning because this is a jury compared to just like a judge.
what was it in the UK?
I'm not quite sure, but people say I don't think it was just the jury court. I think it was like a judge made the ruling rather than a jury. So I think this is a difference. So they think because of the jury, it might help a little bit more his what's it called, case and everything.
I just think that it being publicized the way it is helping his case. I don't know. People are literally just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you
And
guys
just like
feel
in
about it?
Virginia, bro. This is the crazy part too. But there's one thing like that he said that actually made me sad though. Like, even if Disney offers him like hundreds of millions of dollars, he would never play Captain Jack Sparrow again. And like, I was kind of sad about that because like, for how I view jobs, each job is a service, right? You provide some sort of service. Somebody like whatever job you do, Kurt, anyone, you provide a service of sorts. And it's gonna sound like a selfish thought, but this is kind of like as a fan of movies and him in general, him being my favorite actor, it's kind of sucks because like I know like pride wise, I definitely agree with him. He shouldn't go back to Disney after what they did to him, like just like cut him off completely just from allegations and everything. But just as a fan, like how he kind of like helped my childhood and everything, I just hope that he sees that like he made an impact on kids' life, and a lot of us are adults now. And just like as movie like lover, he made me love movies so much that if not for himself or not from like the money, he would just do one last movie for the fans himself because the people who actually helped him get to this part of the career, you know. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I feel that. I feel that. How you feel about that, Kurt? Well, how do you feel about that, Kurt?
Yeah. So what happens exactly, like, if she like loses? No, I mean like, if she wins, what happens? And like, if she loses, like vice versa, what happens?
so there's two like. There's two things that happen. First of all, first it impacts the career in the both. It impacts both of their careers because allegations cost him the job in Fantastic Beasts that just came out. He was supposed to be in that movie, and that movie's making millions of dollars. And then his future roles at no one really wants a physical like domestic abuser or like someone who beats on their wife to be in the movies. A lot of movies won't promote that. Like Kurt's previous question. So basically, Johnny Depp sued her for $50 million, but then in counter, she's suing him for another $50 million. So in total, they're suing for each other for $100 million. So they're both like the they're both defendants, and then what's the other side when you sue somebody?
A plaintiff?
They both plaintiff
Plaintiffs?
and
Oh.
defensive, yeah, because they're both suing each other.
What was she in, Kurt? You said that you
She's in
recognize
a lot of
her.
movies. She's in
I
Magic
listen.
Mike.
I don't
she's
know
in
her from
Aquaman.
anything. Don't know her from anything.
I remember her as the main character girl. Because when I looked at her face, I remember. And then I'm like, bruh, she played on Never Back Down. But obviously, she played on, like, bigger movies of that.
Icon.
Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Probably Aquaman and the Lost, whatever, in
Zombie
2000. She's not going to be
What's
in
her
that,
most
I
famous
assume.
movie, bruh?
To me, is Aquaman.
Aquaman.
But she was like the second, I guess, main role.
Oh, was she the redhead? Yeah.
I remember.
Okay,
would say
that's all I know.
She's
her.
in Pineapple Express. She's
Oh, I
in
watched
Magic
Pineapple
Mike.
Oh, she's the
Never
one that.
backing down.
Was she the one that? What is it? Never mind.
You don't know who she is?
She's in Machete Kills.
Machete.
That was that was famous back
Machete.
then. She's in
Okay.
Justice Leagues.
She's in Justice League. Okay.
Yeah, because
Well, yeah. So, all right. Well, I don't
she's
think.
been in a couple of big movies.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me being the public. I just feel like, I feel like Johnny's gonna win. I know that he didn't win in UK, but I feel like he's gonna win. Rene, how do you feel about it? What do you think about this case?
I hope Johnny wins. He looks like he hasn't been committing any it doesn't look like he's at fault. It feels like because they say that she pretty much framed him. So and I mean she's a good actress, so she she acted it out. And she convinced the public, and it sucks for Johnny because he lost all his he lost his opportunity to be in another movie with the Harry Potter franchise. So I hope. I mean, kind of looks bad on Warner Bros. Because they kept her, but they took him out. But if he wins, it's gonna look bad on them because they pretty much took an innocent man's job.
And then shout out to Dior because Dior has been the only company that's still been backing up Johnny Depp throughout the whole thing. Dior's still
I
like,
heard about that Dior whole thing in court about Dior.
yeah, Dior has been like still promoting him and like helping him throughout this whole thing. Like they're the only company like when all other companies like just like what's it called cut him off. Like they still stayed on with them. So shout out
That's
to
wild.
Dior.
And she even in Amber Heard, I heard even said like, "Oh, why are you gonna sign with Dior? You're not classy enough to
Yeah.
be part of Dior." I was like, "What? How are you
when-
gonna say that to him?"
I got my Dior what's it called because of Johnny Depp. Like when I saw
Oh,
his
really?
commercials and
You
everything.
got Dior?
Yeah.
You got Dior. All right, you rich
I
like
got
that.
it because of Pop Smoke.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna Dior. Hey, so Gerson, how do you feel about? I know you're a pretty outspoken man. How do you feel about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp? What? Why are you laughing? I'm just trying to ask him.
I wouldn't say I'm outspoken, but
All right, man. Oh my gosh, he's good.
but nah, it just I hope he wins mainly because that I feel like a lot. I'm not gonna say this happens a lot, but I feel like cases similar to Johnny's, a lot of it don't get taken seriously, and because there are men that do get abused and don't ever get justice for it because people automatically always believe the woman's side of the story.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of cases. What are you geeking? Right?
Because like it's crazy. This man's like showing the case, but then he's on his college thing.
Yeah, this man's been showing
and
everything and
then-
anything, bro.
And then
First we see Johnny Depp, then we see Iva class.
His college classes and everything.
Stock X. I don't know what the hell he's showing.
Hey,
Saw the P side. I don't know.
Yeah,
Bustillo.
saw the orange and black.
Do you have the video of the TikTok video of the like the Wii sound? Oh yeah.
Oh, but damn, R.I.P. the Wi-Fi.
Oh dang! R.I.P. the Wi-Fi. Well, I'll literally just add a video into it,
Yeah,
and then people will just see it. So hopefully
yeah,
they'll enjoy that.
that's basically my take on it because Johnny's a cool dude. I'm not gonna say anybody that knows him because obviously no one knows him personally, but from his
I might.
public image. All right, I'll hold you up to that.
All right, well, I'll say, hey Johnny, hey.
Another thing is his ex-wife has been supporting him too. So if an ex-spouse that like you got divorced with and still supporting you,
Yeah.
saying that you don't never
I
physically
thought they were
abused
good.
her
I
or
thought they were
anything
good
like that.
friends. Like I thought they were like even after
Yeah.
they divorced, they were like pretty like they worked together really well and
Shout out to
stuff like
Paul
that.
Bettany. He's been
Yeah.
supporting her. A lot of the Pirates of the Caribbean cast has been supporting him. A lot of people have been supporting him. So like it shows that his character inside of films, outside of
Yeah.
films, and his previous marriages. That's
Yeah.
a big,
Yeah.
that's a big thing on its own. The previous
And-
marriage.
And really, just hearing the tapes and like just hearing all the
tapes,
videos,
yeah.
it's like, bro, like you can see how like she's like really like a bad person.
But some of the messages he sent to Paul.
Nah,
Bettany,
nah, he's no Johnny, because that's
he
probably
said
like
some wild
that's
stuff
probably
too.
like years of like drug abuse, like coming to his old
Yeah.
age, just making him act like a little weird.
The one thing I
but
got really mad at that they played his like attempt of like self-harming and cutting himself, but that's kind of like
that's something they
it was
have
like
to
a
play
have
though.
to.
it was like a
Evidence,
6 minute video, and then you saw him crying after because like being in that state and then finally conquering that state and moving past that state and then now revisiting it in a court case where millions of people are gonna hear this now,
Yeah.
something that's so personal, you actually cutting yourself, and then I don't know, that's probably the saddest part of the whole case so far.
I don't even know. And I mean, I think even his family said it the best. Just the amount, or not his family friend said it the best. The amount of, I wouldn't say suffering, but just the amount of pain that his family has had to go through just because of these allegations. Yeah, literally lies. It's astounding, and to think that anybody could be that malicious. And like, what is your intent? What good does it do for anybody to be that malicious? It has to be. I don't know how you can be that malicious to someone. Just hope that Johnny gets through it. Really do hope that man gets through it. Damn, crazy. He found it. He's going to send it to you.
I sent you the YouTube link.
But what if he did do it? What do you guys think of that?
Then he should go to jail. He should go to jail.
Everything in the case is pointing like he didn't do it.
But I mean, like if he makes a good point. If he did do it, then I gotta.
Then we all see.
Then I look like a sucker
But I think
for
both
what
of the
I'm
physical
saying.
abuse that they both caused each other wasn't anything that serious to the point they can go to jail for.
I don't think it's something you go to jail for, but I think it's just to the point where like I feel like there should be some repercussions for whoever's lying.
Well, if he did do it, then everything he still lost all of it. All like the millions of dollars he would have made from like all the different movies that he would have been part of that he can't be part of no more. So he would lose that, and then he would lose the respect of the public, and that's like the biggest thing I guess you can really lose, in a sense.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Well,
part of the
I
video.
really hope he's, he makes it out through this case, because he don't deserve that. If I believe he's innocent, man, but it's still ongoing. So,
Simple yes or no question, which is
You'd like
other
it to be, sir.
others-
Nothing simple in this case.
Other-
October is 2 months before December. That's correct.
the document that you signed as part of your divorce proceedings, correct?
That's my signature indeed, yeah.
That is your signature on the right, correct?
Yes, it is.
This is the document you signed, right?
For the third time, that is my signature, yes.
And that was a document you signed in August of 2016, correct?
Is that the same one that I signed 3 times before? Yes,
Yeah.
that's the
Well,
fourth.
I wanted to make clear that you signed
Make it
that in
clear.
the summer to Paul Bettany, correct?
Again.
Okay. So the Exhibit 500, please. 500? 500. Defense Exhibit 500.
Yes, I'd like to see who I lied to.
Sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings too, right?
Isn't happy hour any time?
Say that you carried cocaine in that box?
No, but it looks like it would fit some cocaine. I once gave Marilyn Manson a pill so that he would stop talking so much.
That right.
You did.
Did I read that correctly?
You did.
Okay. Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Did I read that right?
You continue to read them right, yes.
Right after you cut your finger off, right after, I won't give you anything to argue with me yet. Right after you sustained an injury to your finger,
Sorry.
right after you sustained an injury to your finger,
Bless you.
poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
Yeah. Fast forward in time a little bit, Mr. Depp.
Yes, I can feel it.
I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury. I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury.
Sorry, could you read that again?
You were drinking.
It's interesting. I think the first time I actually, my bad. You couldn't hear me, but the first time I started looking at the case, I was at the gym, and I was actually like reading the subtitles, like what the heck's going on. And you don't read the subtitles at the gym, so I was like actually trying to see what was going on. So it's a polarizing case. 2022 is a polarizing year.
Yeah, I've been keeping up with the case since the beginning, and I've just been this is crazy.
Yeah. Dang, Gerst, are you good?
What?
You're just like,
I'm just like,
or something.
man, Gerst, I know what you're thinking about right now.
what
You're thinking about the loss in stock you had when Netflix lost
No.
200,000 subscribers. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about Netflix losing? They lost like $2 billion, I think. They lost a lot of money.
something like that.
They lost a lot.
I know it was a shit ton, but honestly, they preyed on their own downfalls. If I'm being honest, they've been pulling out garbage content for years.
Why would you say garbage? What would you say?
Most of it is garbage. Like those unrelated, like those TV shows. Like they pumped out so many TV shows I would see that just look uninteresting just by looking at it, and I would just never bother. Like honestly, it'd be like rare shows that would pop up like maybe once every like 6 months that people get hype about. But other than that, it's just usually like garbage content or like, and they can't even hold movies.
Yeah, I feel that. He got me. But I think there's only one show I watch on Netflix, and I enjoy Umbrella Academy. I'm waiting for that season 3 to come out. Yeah, with the monkey and like the time traveling.
What's so funny?
It's interesting. He that's a weird way of describing.
I
you know?
just don't. I just don't understand.
I just-
because every time the word monkey is thrown around, this nigga here is always giggling. He is. But he's looking around, smirking. Every time somebody,
What I've been doing the whole time.
time somebody says monkey, man.
I saw a little smirk right there. You know?
I'm confused. This is what you want. I'll just be like this the whole time.
Gerson's role.
Oh my gosh.
This is Gerson's role.
Yeah, that's Gerson's role.
Yeah. Copy my flow.
Yeah,
Bar
you
for
know.
bar.
We're bar for bar.
Another day, another bullying of Ali on this podcast. You know, it's
Who- wait,
nothing,
hold on, hold
nothing
on.
new.
I wanna-
Renee, this is nothing new.
wait,
you
wait,
know.
whoa.
Every podcast.
Pause.
something happens, you
I
know,
want
it's
to pause
okay.
it. I want to pause what you're saying. Who gets bullied more, you or Gerson?
Me
Ah.
Gerson.
by the fans, Gerson. By you guys, me.
I want you guys to comment down below in our Spotify and YouTube comments if you guys can. Who gets bullied more? I feel like it's Gerson. I feel like Ali's playful, but I intentionally do it to Gerson. So I was like, yeah. Let me know. But yeah,
See, that's the whole thing about bullying. You think it's playful, but it hurts me. It deeply hurts me.
Then I think you need a, you know,
dang, you think you need cojones?
yeah.
Dang.
See,
Dang, that's crazy.
But you know, it's all love over here.
It's all love, man.
actually-
Nah, it's
Glizzy
hearsay.
G.
That's hearsay.
But
That's hearsay.
I actually had a question for Rene. That
Ooh,
what is
you
it?
never have questions.
No, it was about a lot earlier when we were talking about his barber thing. I was gonna say, have you this kind of relates to the question, but have you ever worked with do you work with like besides white, like besides like
Go ahead.
do you work on like people of color, like hair, like do you actually work on black people hair?
Yeah, I mean the barbershop I'm at, I probably
Because he said Kentlands and I just assumed all white. That's why.
yeah, but the barbershop I'm at, I could literally say it's a black barbershop because
Okay.
it's owned by
Okay.
it's black owner.
I just wanted to know that before to my actual question.
Mhm.
If each of us came in here and said, "Give us whatever," what would you give us?
That's a good question.
What kind of haircut would you give each one of us?
That's a great ass question.
If you looked at us and then you said, "This will look good on you," what would you give us?
Let's start off with Kurt. What would you give Kurt?
Baldy.
Bald head.
Bald head.
Yeah. Big old bald head.
Yes,
like you cut G,
like
that slap.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, I think Kurt actually, when Kurt ran his bald head phase, that wasn't actually a bad phase, no cap. That was a pretty decent phase. I remember that. That was like a week or two. What would you give Ali?
I think maybe a mid fade.
Mid fade?
Yeah.
That's what I get usually.
Mid
I
fade?
either get a low fade or mid fade. So typically mid fade, but I've been liking low fades lately. So nice job, Rene.
Yeah.
You are a professional. Yeah. Hey guys, you should go to him. He's a professional.
Yeah.
I believe him now. You know.
I believe him
He
now.
got my
What?
support. He got my
Yeah.
credentials. Now. That's the last thing he needed. Okay.
All right, well, hold on, let me take off my hat so you can see my hair. My hair is nappy as can be, but you know me, you know. There we go.
Yeah, Christian, zoom in, bro.
This takes a lot of courage.
It's not too bad, you know. You know what I'm saying? I pick it out when I go to work. You know what I'm saying? But besides that, no. But what would you give me in terms of haircut?
Bald head.
Bald
Son.
head? I know. Hey, that's what my dad gave me. That's what my
Give
dad
it
gave
everybody
me.
bald head.
I'm knowing a trend here.
Yeah, no. My dad gave me a bald head for a minute though.
I think that's like everybody. It's like at one
Yeah.
point, it's you had
No, it was till fourth grade though.
fourth grade.
Fourth, fifth grade. I had a
Sheesh,
bald
I think
head.
mine's still. Yeah, probably saying that.
No, it'd probably be a high skin fade.
High skin fade.
Yeah, high skin fade probably look good on him. And for Gers, probably a low fade.
A low fade.
Yeah,
What would you
Low
do with the
fade.
top?
bring it just.
Would you part
Probably.
it? Would you just put it back?
You can leave it messy actually,
Makes
You know?
sense.
I would,
because I can tell, it's just part of his lifestyle.
Yep.
You know.
Yes, sir.
And you're right, because I don't ever comb my hair.
Yeah, I can't. I just imagine he's just that guy who just gets up,
And that's
goes,
Yeah, you're right, because I don't.
No, there's no time for the mirror, to comb it.
Obviously, besides like taking a piss and brushing my teeth, but other than that, I don't touch shit in my hair.
What about Bastilla?
oh,
Final member.
Bustillo, what about
Yeah, he has a different hair texture than us. He's a little curly, little thick,
Okay.
He has like that. Yeah.
He'd probably go well with a tape, a low temp. Yeah.
Dang.
Okay. Got all of his haircuts. I might have to pull up to the barber shop. I might have to come through because my hair is looking real bad.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think a high temp might look good on him. Actually.
You think?
Yeah.
All right. I need to check that out. Sheesh. That was your question about
Yeah, I just want to see what he would actually like give us, like his his own opinion.
I like that.
Because sometimes like a lot of people go into barber and get their own things and they think that's what looks good on them. But sometimes people don't realize like what you choose might not look good on you. And because sometimes like, let's say some person likes a certain shirt and they're the only person that thinks they look good in that shirt, but everyone else realizes they don't look good in that shirt. I feel like some people don't probably realize that. That's why I feel like if you go, I feel like that's something people should do. Go to your barber and say, "Give me a haircut you think would actually look best on me," and something. And they'd probably be surprised in the haircut, style that you get chosen. And you might like it. You never know. Sometimes I do that. I'm not gonna lie. They usually always say buzz cut because some of them are lazy, but I'm like, I've done it a few times, but I personally don't like it.
It grows on you. Sometimes
Sometimes,
hairstyles just
I
grow
like
on
it
you.
mainly
Yeah.
because of the fact that low maintenance, but I'm lazy. I don't like cutting. I like cutting my hair like every like 3 months. Like 3 times like a year or whatever. I get lazy.
Why are you geeking?
Yeah, what's so funny
Why,
about
why are
that?
you geeking?
Just a ton of being lazy. It's different things that you don't do or do.
Because like it's like getting the time to go sit down, go over there, and then
I feel that.
shower.
You
It's
gotta
like
sit.
What are you
I mean,
talking about? What if
still-
you're busy? What if you can't
And
go to
I
the
know what he
shop?
does. He's not busy.
Oh my gosh!
But
What
I
if
mean,
he
you
was?
Just make an appointment, man. Like
no,
you know.
I don't make a point. I usually just walk in.
Yeah, but
Well,
that's
But that's the thing.
See,
I only
That's
walk
why
in.
you're gonna be
I only
waiting.
walk in on days where I feel like, all right, you know what? I think it is time for a haircut, and that's usually only like 3 or 4 times a year. And
but you just make an appointment that same day that you feel like that. They might be able to book you in.
Exactly.
Because, I usually, like, for appointments, I like to have 1 hour for just that client. Just for whatever. Because especially if it's a new client, I'm finding out new things about you. Like, if you had a scar, how am I going to hide that, with the haircut? Stuff like that,
yeah,
Just little, because barbers, we pay attention to, like, details,
makes sense.
Speaking of barbering, how long do you have to go to barber school? What is wrong with this guy?
Yeah,
How long
you
do you have to
see-
go to barber? How long- you're gonna see his face maybe on the pod, but how long do you have to go to barber school? And what do you say you probably learned the most, or what was like the most insightful thing you learned from barber school? Or do you think you learned most of everything from just practice and just doing it?
Well, barber school is pretty much just like, it's just they just throw a textbook at you and they just tell you, they might have like 1 hour of, lecturing you on certain chapters, but in barber school you gotta do like 1,200 hours, for you to be able to, graduate, and then, you gotta pass your theory exam and your physical exam, or
What do you have to do for the physical? Do you do the physical on like a mannequin?
on a mannequin.
Okay.
Well, right now it's because it's on a mannequin because of COVID.
Yeah.
But back then you'd get an actual person, and you'd have to cut off like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 inches off their head, of hair, and you had to use your shears and also clippers.
Oh, it's okay. So they would try to test you on every single thing.
Yeah, they test you on that, on perm rods. So you'd have to perm somebody's hair, at least put 2 perm rods on them, and also with a razor. Yeah.
Oh, the razor. Is that the scariest part? Like, have you ever like that one single razor? Is that scary for
Yeah.
you?
Because razor's pretty lethal, man. You can, yeah. Yeah, it's probably the most scariest thing to use.
That makes sense.
So as a barber, you find that the most one of the most terrifying things to use?
Yeah, it's because, like, you can, if you nick someone, it's kind of like you have to tell them the truth. Hey, man, I nicked you.
Yeah, my barber
Yeah.
never did that. I swear to God, he would just like do this, and I could feel the nick, and he'd just be like, "So, how are your parents?" And I'm just like, "Okay."
But yeah, I mean, it comes with time and experience,
Yeah.
on how to use the razor. So, the way to really get good is we'd use a balloon, we'd blow it up, put shaving cream on it, and your goal is not to pop the balloon. You just make sure you get all that shaving cream off the balloon.
Did you pop the balloon?
No, I didn't actually the first time.
Yeah,
No.
that's what they
I-
all say,
Yeah.
Heard that one before.
Yeah.
Heard that one before. No, I'm kidding.
But you never popped the balloon. right, that's what's up. That's what's up. I feel like Kurt, could you be a barber? You don't have the skills. You don't have the.
I mean, you never know unless you do something, but I don't.
You got to be patient with it.
Yeah, you never mind. He couldn't be a barber.
Yeah, so that's it.
I don't know about that. AMC taught me that, you know. Kurt would rather not deal with annoying people if he doesn't have to deal with them.
Have you ever get a free haircut because of a mistake you made or something like just went wrong? Like either you nicked them or something like that?
Well, haven't never nicked somebody. I've nicked my own self.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, and I always tell them, hey, look, I cut myself. And I'll, put a bandage and then a glove over my hand. But I have gotten into mistakes before. Sometimes it might not have been like, at the end of the day, it's always the barber's fault because he's the one who's cutting the person's hair.
Mm.
But sometimes it might have been a miscommunication. They could have told you something they wanted. And usually as a barber, I don't just go straight on and just cut your hair, I would just normally ask them 3 times, ask them if they sure that's what they want. And one time I asked one guy if that's how he wanted it. He wanted a comb over, right? Yeah. With a hard par line.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what he told me wasn't a comb over. What he told me was, I want a hard par. So a hard par to me is just a line, right? Pretty much. By the end of the session after I cut his hair, it was, he told me he wanted a 1.5 all around. So that's pretty much a buzz cut. Yeah. After I cut down his hair, he was like, oh no, that's not what I wanted. He had lost, I've cut off all the top of his head, so he couldn't have a comb over no more. You get me?
So why,
but
And let me guess, was he just watching you as you were doing it? And was he just like?
Yeah.
He had to have been, bro. Oh my gosh.
So sometimes it could be a miscommunication. So that's why I always say, if you have a specific hairstyle or haircut you want, it's probably best to come in with showing them a picture,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I tend to do. Just show them a picture of my normal style and be like, just copy this, please.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's what's up. I really appreciate you coming on the pod, Rene, joining us today and telling us about, I honestly didn't know anything about barbering besides my barber's not that good of a guy, but you've now taught me a lot about barbering, so I appreciate that. Any last words, Rene? Do you want to tell our lovely viewers, the lovely people watching us on their couch maybe? I don't know.
Hey, well, I appreciate, these guys inviting me, because this is actually pretty fun. And, it's great to see Gerson again because it's been years since I've seen this man. He's still on the couch since last time I saw him.
Still on the couch.
But yeah, just keep going at it in life and, strive for greatness.
That's true. Thank you, Rene. Really appreciate that. Honestly. So appreciate that. Any last words from you, Kirtland Elliott?
No, just thanks, Rene, for coming on with us today, man. I know you're busy, but thank you for taking time out your schedule to come on this nice sunny day.
It was a nice sunny day. Thank you, Rene. Ali, any last words?
Thank you, Rene, for coming on. Sorry for dealing with Kurt this whole time.
I'm sorry.
And Prince Ali's out.
Yeah, Ali's out. See you later, Ali. And I'm going to call you by your real name, Gerson. Any last word? I was trying to be polite. He wasn't. Any last word?
Nothing much. Just, glad to see Rene. It's been a while since I've seen him. Probably since since the pandemic or whatever started. But yeah.
All right. We'll see you later, Glizzy G. And Bustillo, once again, thank you. You're amazing. We love you. And from our beautiful audience, thank you. From our beautiful audience, thank you guys once again for viewing. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you, Kurt, for spazzing out. Really appreciate that. And, just share with a friend. Check out our Instagram. We're trying to post more. We're trying to engage more with you guys. But this is Old Man Yango, a.k.a. Bill, signing out. Have a great one, guys. Bye.